All right, guys, welcome to lesson number 1. We're going to be talking about what does a field inspector do. In order to become a field inspector, we got to know what a field inspector is. So what do we do? It's plain and simple. A lot of people get it confused with like home inspector, but a field inspector is basically, we're just responsible for inspecting and evaluating the value of a property. I mean, that's just the straight across the board kind of thing for every field inspector. Within this course, we're going to be talking about residential field inspections. However, the field inspector title will cover like commercial and insurance and residential as well, residential mortgage inspections as well. All right, so as I'm giving you this information, when I say field inspector or mortgage field inspector, if I specifically say mortgage field inspector, I am referring to the residential part of it. Okay, now if I just say field inspector, then that could be used across the board, okay? But this is going to be residential inspections because you need to know about these inspections first. This is where I first came into this business, was doing residential inspections, okay? And then as you get your experience up, you can move on to like commercial inspections and things like that. All right, so basically, again, what does a field inspector do? A field inspector are just we're responsible for inspecting and evaluating the value of a property, and we are hired by insurance agencies, banks, mortgage lenders, companies like that, or organizations like that, to personally verify the condition of a property before a loan can be approved. And that's what we do. I mean, we go out, we are the eyes and ears for these agencies, okay? So basically, what we do is just a general overview is we do this by providing visual inspections, by taking photos of a location, equipment, a piece of property, whatever it is, whether it be a home, whatever it is, whatever property it is, personal property. And then we write a report for the bank and the companies so they can estimate that property's value. So that's what I mean about, we don't necessarily estimate the value of a property, of a particular property. We are just the eyes and ears where we go out and we photograph whatever they want, whether it be a home, a piece of equipment, or whatever, and we write a quick report, and we send it back to the company, and then they estimate the property's value. But having a visual, like photographs and things like that, that gives them a good idea of what that piece of property looks like and the condition of it. So basically, part of our duties, they vary in type because it depends on the kind of inspection. So for mortgage inspections, there's usually one basic set of rules, but then you get into other inspections and you follow those same basic set of rules, but there may be some stuff that may be additional. Now, part of our duties, like I said, it varies by type, but it generally includes driving to some location, performing a visual inspection, taking photos, and writing a report. You don't need any experience for that, okay? And a lot of people get it confused because they think it's a home inspector. Now, as a home inspector, you have to have licensing, but with these kind of inspections, field inspections, it does not require any special licensing or anything like that. So don't worry, you don't have to go out here and go get a license or something. I didn't, I just had my phone or my camera and I went to work. All right, so I want to show you something real quick because as a field inspector, when you're they don't normally advertise job postings. You can find some, but some not so much. But I'm gonna give you an idea of what that job posting might look like. But so give me just a second. Let me see if I can pull it up. Okay. So sometimes you have to really dig deep, but this is what what you want to look for as a field inspector. This is just an example here. They say they're paying $20 to $40 an hour, and you can do a full-time, part-time, or contract work. So, but the most important thing here is the description. You see, experienced inspectors needed to do mortgage inspections in the Delaware area. See, they verify the occupancy status of a property for mortgage companies and take photos to show the overall condition. So this is, if you can see that, this is usually what and you see right here, they are requiring at least 1 year experience for this particular company. However, a lot of companies will hire you without experience. Most companies don't require any kind of experience, but I'm gonna tell you a little secret. If you can go in and put in your resume or talk to the people, you can let them know that you have taken a course on field inspections and you know what you're doing, and that you can get this done. Pump yourself up in order to get these kind of jobs. That's just a little tip for you. All right. Some companies may hire you even if you don't meet that qualification. For like this one, it says for they want a year preferred, but it's not required. All right. So let's get back over here. So now, another thing that field inspectors do, because field inspections encompass a lot of different jobs, a lot of different titles. I mean, because part of the field inspectors work is property preservation. All right. A lot of people get into the preservation part. Some people get into the mortgage inspection part, and some people do both. I never did the preservation part. I've always thought about it, and I thought about actually building a business around property preservation, but I never really did it. I ended up finding something new, like the commercial stuff. So basically, again, a property preservation is part of field inspection. As part of the field inspection title. So basically that includes like changing locks, boarding up windows, draining water heaters, shutting off water supply valves to the house or a building, winterizing a property. That's what normally the preservation part of the inspection does. And why is it important as a mortgage inspector to perform your duties properly? Because if you go out to a home and you say it is vacant when it's actually occupied, the banks will send a property preservation crew out to change locks. So it's very, very important that you document everything properly, and that you are sure that you're stating a property is vacant or occupied. So you make sure that you are sure when you're stating that. All right. Now, so another thing that we do is when a mortgage loan becomes delinquent or something, the bank or the mortgage company is required, okay? They are required to send someone to the property in order to take photos so that they can determine if that property is occupied or vacant, and determine the overall condition of what the visual inspection, of what you viewed at the property. Okay, what was your visual inspection like? Did it have busted windows? Did it have broken locks? Was the grass 5 feet high? these are things that you're going to want to look for. So, but they're, it's not, the bank sends people like us, field inspectors, out to properties when a loan becomes delinquent. But there are other reasons why a bank would order an inspection too. So we have to think about that. Not all inspections are the same, okay, and not all work orders or inspections are delinquent. So that's something that we have to understand, okay, before that's something that we have to understand before going to these properties, okay, because and let me give you just a few tips here, because some inspections are ordered because of damages to a property. It may have been a natural disaster or something. Sometimes we're required to leave a letter at the door for the homeowner so that they can call the mortgage company. Guys, we have to understand that if someone falls delinquent on their home loan or equipment loan or whatever kind of loan it is, we have to understand that it's not our responsibility, and we cannot what's the word I'm looking for, we cannot get all offended if a homeowner yells at us for being on that property. We're only doing our job. And see, that's the thing that we have to think about. We're going to talk more about the life of a field inspector in the next video. All right, so another thing you want to keep in mind, we never collect payments from anybody. Okay, we never collect payments, and we never tell a owner that they got to make their payments. Okay, all right, so we have to present ourselves in a professional manner, and we never ask homeowners or about their financial status of their loan. We don't get into that because it's none of our business. Our only job is to go out there. If we have to make contact with the homeowner, we do that. We take our photographs and we write our report. That is the only thing that we have to do. All right. So I try not to get involved with too many homeowners or get involved with homeowners who are disgruntled. It is what it is. Like I said, we'll get more into that later. All right, sometimes we order, sometimes not we order, but sometimes we have to do like exterior inspections as well when they are ordered by the bank. Okay, and basically what we're doing there is we're basically verifying the status of that property. Rather, we're reporting if it's occupied or vacant, if the water is off or on, if the gas is off or on, if the electric is off or on, how tall is the grass. So we are looking at all of those things, and those are things that we look for when we are trying to determine occupancy. All right. The next thing that we look at is the condition of the property. Okay. Has it been vandalized? Is it abandoned? Is it listed for sale? Is there personal property around? Is there trash around? So we have to look at all of those things. So basically, that is what a field inspector does. So don't get it confused with a home inspector. These kind of inspections do not require any kind of licensing, do not require any kind of experience. All you need is a phone, a smartphone, a camera, a printer, a computer, and internet access. Okay, those are your basic requirements. Now we're going to go into a few other things that you may need during like the residential inspections during the commercial inspections. There are a couple of other tools that you may need, but for these kind of inspections, that's basically all you need, and you may need one other tool, and we'll go into what's required and everything like that in a later video. But for now, I hope you guys enjoyed this first session, and I hope you guys learn what a field inspector does. So like I said, in the next video, we're going to be talking about the field inspection industry, the life of a field inspector. So we're going to jump into that next. All right. So put your takeaways. Let me know your takeaways. Make sure you have watched this video all the way through, and let me know your takeaways from this, how you're feeling about it, and we can go from there. All right. I will see you guys in the next video.